Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Always Bayern Chelsea show. Today's Tuesday, June 24th. As I record this one here, Bayern Munich has just lost their final match of the FIFA World Cup group stages by a score of 0-1 versus Benfica. Man, where do I start? This is actually episode 100. Unfortunately, this one is just going to be a breakdown of this match. Nothing super special planned for this one, but Jim and I will have to put our heads together and think of something incredible to do in celebration. But yeah, if you're listening to this, just wanted to say thank you. 100 episodes, I guess, is kind of a bit of a milestone. It seems like a lot, and other than talking shop with my lifelong buddy Jim, the other best part about this is getting to talk to other soccer fans in the comments and whatnot. So feel free to drop a comment really about anything, and I will respond to it, and we can have a most likely football related conversation down there. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is a video episode. It'll be up on the YouTube channel, but it is just me. If you have listened to the last episode I put out from the road, Jim and I are both out of pocket right now. I'm actually back home. I was up photographing the IndyCar races at Elkhart Lake this weekend, and I was able to kind of catch the Bayern Munich Benfica match at work today as I was editing those photos. But Jim is remote. He is far, far away from here in the woods of Canada on a lake. I got some confirmation that he did survive his little plane visit out there, and he is, in fact, on the lake. So he must have caught some service for a few minutes, but communication has been sparse. So it was actually looking like if Bayern Munich would have beat or drew against Benfica, that they would have played Chelsea in the next round of the Club World Cup. But at the moment, Bayern Munich finished second in their group behind Benfica now, and it looks like they will be playing Flamengo, but we'll keep you posted, of course, on the Always Bayern Chelsea channel. But that was a little bit of a long-winded intro, so thanks if you stuck around. But let's, break down this match now, because that's what I'm here to do today. Again, this is my busy season as a photographer in the summer, so things are very, very hectic for me at the moment, but that won't stop me from breaking down these matches and giving you as much content as I possibly can about this Club World Cup here, because Jim and I went to the first match for Bayern against Auckland City in Cincinnati, and it was just a riot. It was a hoot. We had a great time down there in Cincinnati, so check out our video detailing that match, because I put in a lot of clips from that, and just the kind of festivities before the match and whatnot too. So a lot of good stuff in that one. But now at the moment, I'm a little bit, I don't want to say drained of the Club World Cup, but I just have some reservations about the tournament as a whole in my mind. At this point, I'm loving it a little bit less than I did when I was there live in Cincinnati. So I'll just talk about it all and how I'm feeling about things in this moment. Obviously, a down moment for Bayern Munich. As a Bayern Munich fan, this was a tough loss to swallow. So, here we are. It was 100 degrees, first of all. That's a very important thing to mention. In North Carolina, where Bayern Munich played, the heat had a huge impact on the match. It slowed down the match. There were water breaks. Kompany, I think, maybe he would have started this crazy lineup that he started anyways, but I think that the extreme heat had a factor to do with it. And also, I think really this tournament is going to play a nasty role in terms of player health throughout this coming season, player injuries. We might not see it at the beginning, but I guarantee you by the end of this next season, we are going to be seeing lots and lots of players getting injured. We saw it last year, and these guys are just playing too many matches, to be totally blunt with you. That's the biggest reservation I have about this Club World Cup tournament, is the amount of matches that guys are forced to play. And it's not everybody. But if you are an international player on a top team like Bayern Munich, you just have to play way too many matches. Really, every couple days, it seems like you're playing a match, whether that be for club, in this Club World Cup, in the regular club season, on the international breaks. You're not getting a break. You're playing international football for whoever it may be, if you're one of these top guys. So again, it's just too many matches, and we're gonna see guys get injured. We already are seeing guys get injured. I mean, heck, look at Jamal Musiala. The guy didn't didn't play today. He just came back off of a long injury hiatus only to get injured against Boca Juniors. So, yeah, we're starting to see it already, but like I said, end of the season, I guarantee you, heading into this, the regular World Cup, I should say, is next summer, and heading into that, I mean, these guys just aren't getting a break. Their bodies are not getting a time to recover, so we're just going to start to see injury after injury pile up, and it's going to be bad for the game. This beautiful, beautiful game is going to become a little bit uglier because of this intensive schedule with no breaks for these players. So with that off my chest, let's go in and break down this match, again, which was played in very dangerous, unsafe conditions for these players. It's probably sounding like an excuse, but 100 degrees, it's just too much. I was, again, photographing those Indy races this weekend, and I was out there lugging my gear around in 95-degree weather. 131 degrees was apparently what it was down on the track there on that asphalt. So I experienced it a little bit firsthand with just deadly humidity, and it was almost an out-of-body experience. I can't describe it any way other than that, but I felt totally not within my body lugging stuff around on that track. And these guys are running, tons and tons of miles over the course of a professional football match at a obviously even higher level of intensity in a tournament like this. So again, just unsafe. I want to throw that out there right away. But yeah, let's look at this lineup that Vincent Kompany used, because he really did not use most of his starters. I think it was 7 guys were rotated in as compared to the last match in this one. So yeah, really a B squad essentially. He started the match off against Benfica here, which is a little interesting. There's obviously hindsight is 2020, so you look at it now and you're like, Kompany, what were you doing? Why would you choose this match to rotate? Hell, you played your good players against Auckland City, a semi-professional team from New Zealand. So if you look at it that way, you're like, why would you play this lineup against this team and not against Auckland? But obviously, again, like I said, hindsight is 2020. I think the mentality was Kompany just wanted to start off the tournament strong against Auckland and really run up that goal differential. And then now with these extreme temperatures and matches so close together time-wise, I think he decided this was the right time to give guys a break. And hey, a lot of folks rag on Kompany, me included at times, for not rotating enough, but it's weird how he just either doesn't rotate at all for weeks or just goes with a completely different lineup, which is basically what he did today. But again, you can see why he doesn't rotate very much when you look at how this first half went with this lineup. I think this isn't going to give him any reason to really rotate more when you look at how the squad performed in this one, unfortunately. I think there's a balance, personally. I think you can rotate some of your guys out, a couple guys here and there when you're playing a lower table team in the Bundesliga or a team like Auckland City. I don't think you have to either go all or nothing, which is what it seems like Kompany is doing. So he just got it wrong in this one. Again, hindsight is 2020, but he pushed the wrong buttons with this lineup. He just did. This team did not look good in that first half, and then complete 180 in the second half when he brought in some subs. So let's actually look at the lineup now. I feel like I've been teasing that for a little bit too long without actually getting into it because I keep getting distracted. But Manuel Neuer was the goalkeeper. Really, really good game from Neuer. I thought he had a couple of really tough saves in that first half that kind of kept things from spiraling out of control when Benfica was really riding the hot hand, and the goal, yeah, nothing he could have done there. So the back line was interesting. We saw Sasha Bouet at the right back position, Dayot Upamecano and Josip Stanisic were the center backs, and Rafa Guerreiro was the left back. I thought it was not a horrible match from the center backs. They were kind of left high and dry at times, really by the poor performance of that midfield and then the attackers in the beginning. So not bad from the center backs, I thought, but I did think that the outside backs, both Rafa Guerreiro and Sasha Bouet, were not that good. I thought Bouet was a little bit better than Guerreiro in this one, but just overall, both of them, I think left a lot to be desired at those outside back positions against a team like Benfica. I don't think you can play those guys on that back line. They're just not going to give you the defense that that you need in a game like this. And again, Boué was not horrible whatsoever, but it's just so noticeable how much better Limer is, honestly, at that right back position. And I think Stanisic is so much better as well. I mean, Stanisic a little bit of a different profile than Limer at right back, but both of those guys are a lot better than Boué at the position. So it was just, unfortunate to see Guerrero and Boué, I think, get this start. While they weren't like god awful, they just weren't good, and they just did not do enough to make any sort of positive impact on the match whatsoever. The midfield was João Palhinha and Alexander Pavlovic. This is probably the first match that Kimmich was, I guess, fit and didn't start that I can really remember in the Vincent Kompany era. I think it is the only match Kimmich didn't start, honestly, when he's been healthy under Kompany. So that's how you know Bayern's going with a heavy B squad when Kimmich isn't in there. I don't know what Kompany said to to bench him in this, because it just seems like Kimmich has a stranglehold over these coaches where he never, ever sits. So, unfortunately, it was a poor match from João Palhinha, I thought, and he is really trying to get himself on the right track at Bayern Munich after a poor season kind of being derailed by injuries and whatnot. But I don't know if he really is not up for this club level-wise. I would have thought last year that he would have been, but he had some good matches last year, but I've just not been impressed by him. I just don't think he's done enough to earn definitely a starting spot on this team. But with this packed midfield, I don't even know if he's deserved enough for a prominent role as a backup or a rotational piece, honestly. So, again, super disappointing. Weird that Bayern signed him, because there clearly was no plan for him. It seems like a thing where really he was a Thomas Tuchel signing, but it didn't happen until the Vincent Kompany era, when Kompany clearly doesn't have a use for him. So really strange how I guess Bayern just promised him that they would sign him, and then it didn't work out under Tuchel, and so they did it under Kompany. I don't know how they're showing him that much loyalty when, a guy who plays for your club like Thomas Muller for 25 years and wins you every possible thing you can win. You don't even offer him a contract extension, so I don't understand why they're so loyal to a guy like Palhinha and not loyal at all to a guy like Muller. I just don't get it. The lack of direction from the sporting directors and just the supervisory board and really those in charge at Bayern Munich is a little shocking and very disturbing at times. So unfortunately not a good match for João Palhinha. Alexander Pavlovic, on the other hand, I thought was all right. More than all right, actually. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was one of the better players in the squad in that first half. So, I mean, pretty low bar because the squad was bad in that first half. But I thought Pavlovic did all right. I don't think that midfield did enough. I think when Kimmich is not in there, shit really hits the fan, to be totally frank with you. There was no control and really no direction from that midfield. So it's unfortunate that Kimmich seems to be the only one who can control things so well in the midfield. I like him being paired with Pavlovic, but Pavlovic and Palhinha just didn't do it as a whole for me in that midfield, while I did think individually Pavlovic had a pretty decent game, if that makes any sort of sense. But then the attacking group was Serge Gnabry on the left wing. Thought Gnabry actually had a decent first half as well. Really, Pavlovic and Gnabry were the only two, I guess, outside of Neuer, that I thought had a pretty solid first half. So, Gnabry, he's not great by himself, but he was at least a little bit dangerous, whereas Tom Bischoff at the 10, Leroy Sané and Thomas Muller really weren't dangerous at all. Gnabry at least posed somewhat of a threat, although, like I said, that first half was just a bit of a dumpster fire. I mean, the team was flat. The team was uninspired. It looked like they didn't want to be out there. It looked like they were completely beaten by the heat. And, Benfica, I guess, just benefited from the way that the heat slowed down the match. So, Benfica was dangerous right away. They scored that first goal in the 13th minute there, and Neuer just had no chance on it. They were very good on the counter, and like I said, Neuer had a couple of saves to stop things from really spiraling out of control at that point. So not necessarily an undeserved goal there. It was just a bad first half from Bayern Munich. As a whole, I don't even know what else to say about that half other than yeah, Benfica, once they scored, they pretty much just sunk into that compact shape and just fell into the dark arts, time wasting. Any single shot that Bayern had, the keeper would fall on the ball, whatever, guys would go down and stay on the ground for a while and force play to stop. So, and that's their right. I mean, they were beating Bayern Munich. Whatever you think about it, I don't love that strategy, but hey, it is a strategy, and they certainly employed it more so as the match went on. I mean, they were still relatively aggressive in that first half, but their shape became so compact in that second half and really forced Bayern out wide. But speaking of the second half, we saw Company go to the bench right at halftime there. Kane comes on for Bischoff, Kimmich comes on for Polina, and Olise comes on for Gnabry. I probably would have kept Gnabry on and taken out Sané, to be straight up with you. Sané had the worst match out of anybody on this pitch. He missed 3 wide open shots. I think they were all 1v1s. At least 2 of them were definitely 1v1s with the keeper. He skied a couple of good chances way over the crossbar, and it was just a poor match from Sané. And I'm someone who usually defends Sané a little bit against all the hate he gets, but it was a poor match from Leroy Sané today. And at this point, I'm done with him. Sadly, I am. It's just he's leaving the squad. He's leaving to Gala July 1st. I don't see any point in playing him at this point in the tournament, in these knockout matches, especially after a performance like that. I don't know if he's just mentally checked out already or what, but I just wouldn't play him. I think it would be a big mistake to continue to play him at this point, like I said. But yeah, poor match from Sané. So I wish he would have came off. But again, hindsight is 2020, and these 3 subs, Kane, Kimmich, and Olise, instantly impacted the match. Second half started, and Bayern was shot out of a cannon. Chance after chance after chance after chance. Kane, Olise, and Kimmich were just on point, and they totally changed this team. So again, it's not making a good case for rotation when you see these guys come on and the game literally shifts into a complete 180, and Bayern goes from looking lost to being on the front foot and just peppering in attack after attack after attack. And honestly, credit to Trubin, Benfica's keeper, because he was the man of the match across the board, no doubt. The guy had, I don't even know how many saves, but he had so many tough saves where I just was left shaking my head and just really had to tip my cap to him at that point. Here, look at this. I even got a cap over here. I promise this isn't a staged action, but it is a good plug for the YouTube channel. So why don't you check it out on YouTube, and you'll see me physically tipping my cap. So yeah, there you go. Got to have some fun on a day like this. I really do. After a loss like that. So, yeah, like I said, shots were peppered in just left and right for Bayern. I don't think I have the exact minute here, but actually one of these shots did find the back of the net, and that was a beautiful ball by Joshua Kimmich, bottom corner, perfectly placed. No way the keeper's saving it. Everybody's celebrating. It's a draw. Bayern's going to win the group. Hold on a minute. Is that the referee disallowing this goal? Well, how could that be? Everybody was onside. Wait a minute. So yeah, the ref disallows this goal in really a questionable decision, in my opinion. The ruling on the field was that Kane was in an offside position and impeding the view of the keeper. Kane didn't touch the ball. The keeper wasn't going to save it. Kane didn't do anything to really affect the play at all. So in my opinion, it's a really just ticky-tacky kind of bullshit call. If you were to call a guy offside every time that they're making a run across the pitch, or any time that they're in the keeper's field of vision, that would be almost every goal. So it just seems like, yeah, again, if I get why the ruling exists. If a guy's standing in front of the keeper, putting a blindfold over his eyes, sure, you got to call that. But in an instance like this, where it didn't affect the play at all, it just doesn't make sense to me. So, whatever, it would have been 1-1, I guess, at that point, and it wasn't. So the game goes on. A couple more subs were made. Jonathan Tah comes on for Diet Upamecano. Conrad Leimer comes on for Sasha Bouet, who actually got injured in the match. I think it was just a knock or a cramp because of the heat. It didn't look like... or maybe it was more of an injury, I don't know, but he kind of walked off on his own. He just went down and knew that he needed to come out. So that was how that one went. But yeah, I mean, Leimer, I thought, was an improvement from Bouet. I actually thought that Tah had a pretty solid match as well, similar to Upamecano, where there were a few times where he was kind of just left out to dry, but held things together pretty well for being... like the leader of that back line, I should say. So good match from Tah, solid match overall from the new Bayer Leverkusen. I guess old Bayer Leverkusen, new Bayern Munich signing Jonathan Tah there. But again, Bayern just had so many good shots in that second half, and they were either saved or something happened. Like Conrad Leimer had one that went off the post. It was ruled offside, I believe. Kane had a header that just narrowly missed, and I believe there was a foul called on that one anyways. But yeah, Sané was the one who was getting all the service and all these good chances and just couldn't put anything in the back of the net. There was a play where I think it was Pavlovic who threaded a ball like through probably half the pitch right to Kane, who played the best pass maybe I've ever seen in my life, cut through the defense and just right on Sané's foot, and I can't even describe it, so you just got to go and watch this because it was that good of a pass by Harry Kane. But really, like, I can't comprehend how he had this pass. I've watched it so many times, and it was such a thing of beauty, and I don't know how it was possible to do, but he slid a ball through a team of people right onto Sané's foot for an open 1v1 with the keeper, and Sané just biffs it. So, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the day for Bayern. That was maybe a metaphor for how the day went there, at least in that second half. Again, first half, Bayern got thoroughly outplayed, but second half they were pretty unlucky and just, bad at finishing their chances. So, man, go ahead and watch that play, though. That was a thing of beauty from Kane, and it just reassures me that Kane is the best player in the world, because I'll die on this hill. Nobody is making that pass and also putting up the numbers that Kane does in terms of his finishing, how many goals he scores. Nobody can do that. Nobody who is a top world-class striker like Kane is can play a ball like that. So, again, Kane's the best, but it wasn't enough today. And that's just how things end. 1-0 in the scorching heat of North Carolina. I'll go through and give some match awards if I can muster up the courage to say anybody was any good. No, really all of Bayern subs I thought were phenomenal today, or at least very good, maybe not phenomenal. So let me go ahead and I guess give the man of the match to probably Kimmich, I would say would be the man of the match. And then underrated, Robin of the match, I think I'll go with Olise. Underrated, maybe Pavlovic, and defender, I think I'll give to Tah. So those would be my match awards for this one. But yeah, so it turns out now that it's looking like Bayern Munich's going to play Flamengo in the knockout round here of the Club World Cup, which will be the 29th, which I believe is this coming Sunday. And funnily enough, if Bayern would have won or drew this match, I should say, they would have played Chelsea. And we would have had something really special cooking up for that, even though Jim is away. We would have had to do something. But it's looking, like now Bayern's going to play Flamengo and have a really, really tough draw after that, probably playing Paris and then maybe playing Madrid, and then like a City or somebody in the finals. So, hey, Jim, you better thank Bayern Munich for this one, because Chelsea now has one of the easiest draws in the tournament despite finishing second in their group. So just kind of funny how these things shape up. But yeah, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. I fully believe that. And we move forward from here. Crazy things can happen in these club tournament style brackets and everything. Crazy things can happen. So we wait and see what's going to happen now, but one thing's for sure, we'll keep you covered here on Always Bayern Chelsea. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is a video episode. Again, I'm back at home base right now, even though I will be kind of running around town for more events to photograph. So again, we'll keep you covered here. Jim will be back at some point in the great state of Wisconsin if he can survive that plane ride out of the woods of Canada. So Jim will be back, and we will be pumping out some cool stuff for you. Again, leave us a comment. Thanks for sticking with us for 100 episodes. I'd love to talk to you in the comments if you got anything to say about this one, or just, maybe club football or football in general. So it's been a blast so far, and we'll see how this rest of this Club World Cup shapes up and how the summer goes for both Bayern and Chelsea Football Club. That's it for me. Mia san Mia.